Hi, I'm Joe Silva, and I help entrepreneurs build their team, create systems, and the identity behind being that CEO for their business. I joined Laurie-Ann's program because I have always enjoyed speaking and felt comfortable doing it. The reason I joined the program is because it was a little intimidating to think of myself as a speaker. I had a lot of doubt and I had a lot of ideas in my mind and a lot of things to share, of course, as a lot of entrepreneurs do. I didn't know how to put that into a concise, tight fit for something like a speech. Knowing Laurie-Ann was an expert in the field and has for years and years and years of experience doing this, thought what better way to learn than to learn from the best. After going through Laurie-Ann's program, I have this structure that I can use really anytime I need it in order to give the speech. Number two is I have the confidence to approach organizations and say, hey, I can give a speech. It's coherent, it's concise, it's a consistent message, and the format is one that I know is solid because it's what Laurie-Ann teaches. So highly recommend to get your message out there. Recommend Laurie-Ann as your go-to. She's the expert. So use the expert, go to the best, learn from the best, and you'll be glad you did.
Are you letting fear hold you back, stop you from doing the thing that you want to do, prevent you from moving forward? Well, this has got to stop. And I want to share with you a few reasons why and even how to overcome some of this fear that's holding you back. Hey, if we haven't met, my name is Laurie-Ann Mirabito. Besides being the host of this podcast, I am a reformed, painfully shy girl who accidentally said yes to my very first speaking opportunity. And that led me to saying yes to the next one and the next one. And that very first speaking opportunity that I accidentally said yes to, it attracted my perfect fit clients to me. And I didn't even mention it in my speech. So thank you for being here. This podcast is all about how to leverage public speaking opportunities so that you get positioned as the expert, monetize your message, and attract perfect clients to you. So have you ever said, oh, not now. I'll wait until whatever. Maybe if somebody asks me, I'm not really ready. What will people think? What would they say? Who am I to? I need to blank first. Oh, I'm not a speaker, or I'm not an author, or I'm not a coach. I'm not interested in getting whatever it is. That's just fear playing its very fun game, doing its job, and it actually excels at its job. But the problem with it excelling at its job is we then don't excel at what we are here to do. When it excels at its job, it holds us back. It keeps us still. But when you really think about it, that fear is just in our heads. It's not real. What do they say that the acronym of fear is? False evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's just made up in your head. I mean, I look back at that very first time that I accidentally said yes to a speaking opportunity. Now, oh my goodness, if somebody asked me to speak, sure, absolutely. I'll ask them a few questions about the audience. What is it that you want me to speak on? How did you find me? If, I happen to not know this person, like there are some questions that I would ask. And those questions that I asked today, I didn't ask that very first time. Today, I could even fill in for a speaker who wasn't able to show up for an event. If this is a local event, if they were pinched for a speaker, something happened to a speaker an event that I happened to be at, I'm able to slip in now and fill in. Whereas years ago, I would have said, no, I'm busy. I'm not attending that event. I can't do that. You should ask somebody else. That's just fear. That is just fear playing its game and excelling at that game. So here's what you need to do, because I know a lot of us are affected by this. And there's that saying that whenever you up level, the new devil shows up. That's just fear playing another game. So I want to talk about the identity that you have, because the identity of being afraid or not now, or I'm not a coach, I'm not a speaker, I'm not a good marketer, I'm not a good writer, Those are just identities, how you identify yourself. And it's just a story that you're telling yourself. And what I want you to do is I want you to change your story. I want you to change who you are. So listen to this a little bit. And I talk a little bit more about this in episode 232, which was from last summer. And it was during a series that I did last August on selling from the stage. And it's about how you talk to the audience, but I want you to talk to yourself the same way. And it's about verbs versus nouns. I write, there's your verb, versus I'm an author. I'm a best-selling author. I go to the gym versus I'm an athlete. I run versus I'm a runner. Verb versus a noun. Your noun is your identity. I'm an athlete. I'm a runner. I'm a best-selling author. I'm a coach. I'm a speaker. Start listening to yourself. How many times during the day are you saying some sort of an I am statement, some sort of an identity statement? I'm not good at that. I can't do that. Versus I can, I do. Just be aware of those statements that you make because that's the only way that you're going to be able to change them. When you identify as, I'm not a speaker, that's being something. So yeah, I'm going to get into this be, do, have right now because I want you to really see exactly what you're doing. I'm not a speaker. I used to say, I'm shy. Well, that's the state of being. I am being shy. And when I label myself as my identity is I'm shy, I am going to do shy actions. And then what do I have? Well, I have the results of being a shy person. Nobody knowing who I am, hiding in the background, being in the back of the room, not raising my hand. It's just fear. But what if you turned around one of your limiting I am statements? Turn it around, do the exact opposite. Instead of being I'm shy, in my case, it can be I'm outgoing. I speak. Like I am actually an introvert. But I don't introduce myself as an introvert. As a matter of fact, whenever the conversation comes up, I always tell people I'm an appropriate vert. I know when to be an introvert, and I also know when to step into the energy of being an extrovert, being a little bit more outgoing, being that person who will first extend her hand to somebody and say, "Hi, how are you? What brings you here? I'm Laurie-Ann," and not waiting for somebody else to do that. So let's say you change your identity to being a speaker. Well, you're going to start to do things that speakers do. They build strategic relationships. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you know a lot of these things about how to build those strategic relationships, what to do when you go to conferences as an attendee, reaching out to different organizations and letting them know that you're available to speak, getting booked, writing your speech, working on your speech, working on a new iteration of a speech. And then what do you have? Well, you get the results of being the speaker in front of ideal audiences. You're going to get more bookings for other stages. You're going to get more leads. You're going to build your authority. It becomes easier to have sales calls because people are getting on the call because they already know that they want to work with you. Okay, so let me give you a non-speaking example. Most of you that are listening to this, you might be a parent. You might be a mom or a dad. Your identity, who you're being, is a mom or a dad. But you can fill this in for anything that you want. I'm a coach. I'm healthy. So when you are saying, I'm a fill in the blank, that's who you are identifying as being. And when you are being that person, you are most likely doing the things that a mom, a dad, a parent is going to do. If you've got small children, you're changing diapers. You are actually feeding them. But as they get older, you are cooking dinner and you are all sitting down at the table, hopefully, to enjoy that meal together, to have family time. You also know that you are a big role model for your children. So what do you get? What do you get to have? You get to have clean, healthy children who grow up to be amazing humans in this world. So everything, every title that you have for yourself, you are being that title that you identify with. I'm an entrepreneur. So you are most likely doing entrepreneur things so that you can have entrepreneur results. Be, do, have. So with that said, whatever is holding you back, I want you just to rewrite that identity. Fear may be playing its game and excelling at its game, but you don't have to let it continue to have its grip on you. And I'm not going to, and this is not going to be one of those episodes where I'm going to say, hey, just notice that fear is there, talk to it. Yep. Okay. You go sit over there in the corner. Or that advice that everybody says of when fear shows up, just know that you're on the right path. No, what I want you to actually do is change your title, change your story about it. And I know that this is sounding a little bit more of a rant, but it's a little bit of tough love because we are heavily into conference season and I attend a lot of events, whether I am speaking at them or not, because I'm there to learn. I'm there to meet other people who are my ideal clients, the sort of people that I want to hang around with and be inspired by. Remember, success has also got a lot to do with the environment that you put yourself into. So change your environment, change your world, change your identity, change the story that you have about yourself, and permission to be delusional. This is what I was sharing with somebody recently. Permission to be delusional. If you consider yourself to be a shy introvert like me, then what I want you to do is say, you know what? But I'm a speaker. Be bold, be delusional, have the guts and the glory that goes along with it by saying, I'm a speaker. And I want you to go put it on all of your bios, on all of your social media platforms, and even add it to your website. Declare that you're a speaker so that you are being a speaker so that you can do the things that speakers do much easier so that you can then have the results of being a speaker. Ideal clients, easier sales calls, more bookings on other stages. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. And if you would do me a favor and leave me a review, because those reviews let the different platforms, Apple and Spotify, etc., all know that people like this show and it actually gets it out to other people. And my second request would be, would you please share this on social media that you are listening to this podcast? I know that a lot of you are out there. I get information about the audience that is listening to this podcast, where they are in the world. And I so appreciate you for listening to this podcast, learning from me. I do not take it lightly. I appreciate that you trust me and you continue to show up every single week, twice a week, as a matter of fact, to listen to my podcast episodes. So until next week, I want you to go change your stories, make them the empowering ones, and go do the things that that person would actually do so that you will then have the results that you have been wanting for a very long time. So get out there and do that and don't let fear hold you back. And as always, be in demand.